You walk into a luxury boutique for the first time. Maybe you've admired the brand for years online, or perhaps you're simply curious to see what all the attention is about. From the outside, the store feels almost like a gallery. Every display has been carefully arranged, every light positioned to make a single handbag or watch feel like a work of art. Before you've spoken to anyone, you've already formed the impression that you're entering a place where everything, including the customers, is expected to belong. A sales associate welcomes you with a practiced smile and asks whether they can help. The greeting is perfectly polite, but it doesn't continue much further than that. You are free to browse every display in the showroom, examine the pieces behind the glass, and ask questions if you choose. Yet if you pay close attention, you'll notice something subtle. The conversation is waiting for you to lead it. No one is offering private recommendations, bringing additional products from the back, or asking about your preferences. At this level, the boutique is serving you exactly as it serves every unfamiliar visitor. Eventually, you notice the piece you came to see. You ask whether it's available, and the answer is courteous but familiar. Unfortunately, that model isn't available today. It sounds final, but inside many luxury boutiques, not available doesn't always mean the item doesn't exist. Sometimes, it simply means it isn't available for this relationship yet. As you leave, another client is quietly greeted by name and disappears through a door you hadn't even noticed when you walked in. That's your first clue that everyone enters through the same front door, but not everyone experiences the same store. You decide to make your first purchase. Not the iconic handbag everyone recognizes, but something more accessible. A leather wallet, a card holder, maybe a silk scarf. The price still makes you hesitate for a second before tapping your card, but once the payment goes through, the atmosphere changes ever so slightly. The sales associate slows down, carefully folds the tissue paper, ties the ribbon by hand, and presents the shopping bag as though it contains something far more valuable than leather. In luxury retail, the ceremony is part of the product. Before handing over your purchase, the associate asks whether you'd like to create a client profile. It sounds like a simple convenience: faster receipts, easier returns, updates about new collections. You agree without thinking much about it. Your name, email address, birthday, purchase history, and even the items you considered but didn't buy can now become part of the brand's customer database. From this moment forward, the boutique doesn't simply remember what you bought. It begins measuring what kind of client you might become. As you leave the store, you feel different. Carrying that shopping bag is satisfying, almost symbolic. You tell yourself you've bought your first piece from a prestigious brand, and that's true. But something else happened that afternoon. The boutique quietly opened a file with your name on it. Right now, it contains only a single purchase. To you, it's a completed transaction. To the brand, it's the beginning of a relationship whose value will only be revealed if you come back. And the next time you walk through those doors, you may notice that the experience has already begun to change. Several months pass before you return. Maybe you've purchased another accessory online, or perhaps you're back because you've been thinking about a handbag or a watch you couldn't stop thinking about. As you step inside, something small happens. The same sales associate looks up, smiles, and says, "Welcome back." It lasts only a few seconds, but it's different from your first visit. You're no longer just another person walking through the front door. You're becoming someone the boutique remembers. As you browse the displays, the associate asks a few questions that feel unusually specific. Which colors do you usually wear? Do you prefer gold or silver hardware? Are you looking for something classic or seasonal? A few moments later, they disappear into the back of the boutique and return with several pieces you never saw on display. They're not necessarily rare, but they weren't sitting in the showroom waiting for everyone to see. Luxury stores often keep part of their inventory out of sight, revealing it only when they believe there's a genuine chance of a purchase. Later that evening, your phone vibrates. It's a short message from the sales associate thanking you for your visit and offering to help if you're ever searching for a particular piece. It feels personal, almost like you've made a new connection. In reality, this is how luxury retail begins building long-term relationships. Every visit, every purchase, every conversation adds another detail to your client profile. At this level, the boutique isn't simply hoping you'll come back. It's quietly beginning to make sure that when you do, you ask for the same person again. By now, you've made several significant purchases over the past few years. Every time you visit, you ask for the same sales associate, and they ask for you as well. This time, you don't spend a single minute browsing alone. Before you even reach the first display, your advisor greets you by name and welcomes you back. There is no awkward introduction, no explanation of what you're looking for. They already have a good idea. At this level, luxury stops feeling like customer service and starts feeling like hospitality. Instead of asking where you'd like to begin, your advisor leads you to a comfortable seating area where several pieces are already waiting. None of them were on the showroom floor. They remembered the colors you liked, the styles you hesitated over during your last visit, even the collection you mentioned months ago. A coffee or a glass of champagne appears almost immediately. Nothing here feels rushed. The boutique isn't waiting to see what catches your eye anymore. It's trying to anticipate it before you ask. Eventually, you ask about a piece that's currently unavailable. During your first visit, the answer would have been simple. "I'm sorry, we don't have it." This time, the response is different. Your advisor picks up the phone and starts calling other boutiques. They check incoming deliveries, nearby stores, even pieces that haven't been placed on the sales floor yet. There's still no guarantee you'll get what you want, but the effort itself tells you something important. The boutique has decided that keeping your business is worth spending time on. And in luxury retail, time is often the most valuable service of all. At this point, shopping rarely begins on the main showroom floor. Instead of browsing with everyone else, your sales advisor greets you and quietly leads you through a discreet door toward a private salon hidden behind the boutique. The atmosphere changes immediately. It's quieter, more comfortable, almost like stepping into an exclusive lounge rather than a retail store. Champagne is offered before you've even sat down, and within minutes, a carefully selected collection of handbags, jewelry, or watches appears on the table. None of this is accidental. Every piece has been chosen based on what the boutique already knows about your tastes. As your collection grows, so does your access. Products that once seemed permanently unavailable suddenly begin appearing in front of you. Limited editions, seasonal releases, and highly sought-after pieces are quietly brought out from private cabinets or secured stockrooms that ordinary customers never see. Contrary to popular belief, these items aren't always sold to whoever offers the most money. Luxury brands often reserve their rarest products for clients they've spent years building relationships with. At this level, availability isn't determined only by inventory. It's determined by trust. A few days later, your advisor reaches out again. Not to sell you something immediately, but simply to let you know that an upcoming collection includes a piece they think would fit your style. They even offer to reserve it before it reaches the showroom floor. This is where luxury retail quietly changes its priorities. The boutique is no longer waiting for you to discover new products. It's actively thinking about you between visits. At this level, you're no longer just another customer walking through the front door. You're a client whose future purchases are already being planned long before your next appointment. By now, you've spent years building your collection. Handbags, watches, leather goods, jewelry. Each purchase tells the boutique a little more about your tastes. A few weeks before the next collection officially launches, your phone rings. It's not a marketing email or an automated newsletter. It's your sales advisor calling personally. They explain that several new pieces are arriving soon and thought of you immediately. The public hasn't seen them yet, but they would like to arrange a private appointment before the official release. At this level, you're no longer discovering collections alongside everyone else. You're seeing them before the rest of the world even knows they exist. When you arrive, the boutique feels unusually quiet. There are no crowds browsing the showroom, no customers waiting to be helped. Instead, your advisor welcomes you into the private salon where a selection of pieces has already been prepared. Some haven't reached the display floor, others won't remain available for long once they do. Rather than asking what you'd like to see, your advisor explains why each piece was chosen specifically for you. The conversation no longer revolves around price or availability. It's about craftsmanship, rarity, and how each addition would fit into a collection they've watched grow over the years. As the appointment comes to an end, your advisor smiles and gestures toward one final item resting on the table. It was never part of today's presentation because, in their words, it was never really available. It had already been reserved under your name before you walked through the door. That's one of the biggest differences at this level. The boutique isn't waiting to see whether you'll want its rarest pieces. It's making sure those pieces are waiting in case you do. You're no longer simply buying luxury goods. You're becoming one of the clients the brand quietly builds its future around. Long before you arrive, the boutique already knows you're coming. Your appointment isn't simply added to the calendar. It's discussed during the morning briefing. The manager reviews your purchase history with your sales advisor. Recent collections are checked for pieces that match your preferences, and the private salon is prepared before the front doors even open. When you step inside, you're greeted by name, not only by your advisor, but often by the boutique manager as well. At this level, your visit isn't another appointment. It's one of the most important events on the day's schedule. The products placed in front of you are different from anything displayed in the boutique. Some are limited editions arriving in extremely small quantities. Others were never intended for general display at all. Luxury brands often allocate their rarest creations to a very small number of established clients before the public ever sees them. Sometimes only a handful of boutiques worldwide receive a single piece. At this level, availability is no longer determined by who asks first or who can pay the most. It's determined months in advance by relationships the brand has spent years cultivating. Before you leave, your advisor hands you an invitation to an upcoming private event. It's not advertised online, and there are no public tickets to reserve. A small group of the brand's most important clients will preview the next collection before its official launch, meet members of the design team, and place orders months in advance. Moments like these reveal what luxury brands are really selling at the highest levels. The handbags, watches, and jewelry are still extraordinary, but they are no longer the rarest thing in the room. Access is, and once you've earned it, the boutique works just as hard to keep you as you once worked to earn its attention. One day, an invitation arrives. It's not for the opening of a new boutique or a seasonal sale. It's for a private event hosted by the brand itself. There are no crowds, no waiting lines, and no public announcements. Only a small group of long-standing clients has been invited. You spend the evening meeting designers, viewing upcoming collections months before they're released, and hearing the stories behind pieces that haven't even entered production yet. At this level, the relationship extends far beyond the boutique. You're stepping inside the world the brand usually keeps hidden. As the evening continues, something unexpected happens. People stop trying to sell you products. Instead, they begin asking questions. Which materials do you prefer? Which colors have you enjoyed collecting? What details would you like to see in future collections? There are no promises that your opinions will shape the next release, but the questions themselves reveal something important. The brand now sees you as someone whose perspective is worth hearing. After years of building trust, your value is measured not only by what you buy, but by the relationship you've built over time. If you've made it this far, you've probably noticed something. Every customer enters through the same front door. Everyone sees the same logo. Everyone has the ability to buy something. But from that moment on, the experience slowly begins to divide. At first, you're simply another visitor. Then you're a customer. Then a familiar face. Eventually, a valued client. And for a very small number of people, something more. Luxury stores don't just keep track of what you purchase. They remember how often you return, what you collect, what excites you, and whether you're building a lasting relationship with the brand. The rarest thing inside a luxury boutique isn't the handbag sitting behind the glass. It isn't the watch locked inside the safe. And it isn't the jewelry displayed under the spotlight. It's access. Because in the world of luxury, the most valuable product was never on the shelf. It was the relationship all along.